welcome back to Wookies on X-Wing. My name is Matt.
I'm Jon.
And today we've got the final game of the Atlantic Canadian Regionals for 2016, held here in Fredericton, New Brunswick at MetaGameZ.
You might be asking yourself why you're only seeing two of the final cut, and that's because most of the top meta was just Dengars versus Palp Aces, so we want to do ourselves a favor and skip right to the finale so you guys get to enjoy that kind of match.
Yeah, we'll give you the, the creme de la creme, as it were. Got the final game between our own Nick Caron running Dengaroo. So he's got Dengar with Lone Wolf, Plasma Torpedoes, Countermeasures, Zuckuss, the Punishing One title, Glitterstims, and Overclocked R4. And then Manaroo with Push the Limit, an Engine Upgrade, Gonk, Feedback Array, and R5P8. And who is his opponent today?
His opponent is none other than Alan Fung, future winner of the Toronto Nationals for 2016 in Canada. And, well, he's not the national winner yet at the time of recording this video, so we got to see what he has. He's running, of course, the same Palp Aces list that he flew in our last video. That's Carnor Jax with Push the Limit, Stealth Device, Royal Guard tie title, allowing him to take the Auto Thrusters upgrade or modification. We have the Inquisitor, fan favorite, my favorite, with Push the Limit, Proton Rockets, Auto Thrusters, and the TIE V1 title for some nice action economy. Last but not least, certainly not least, gets his name for the list, Omicron Group Pilot, Electronic Baffle. Now, if you want to know what that does, it's when you receive a stress token or an ion token, you may suffer 1 damage to discard that token. A very nice system upgrade that we don't usually get to see a lot of, only because it came out in the Ghost. And of course, the man himself, King Emperor Palpatine, Lord of the Sith, and he is what makes this list function.
Yeah, so he's, at 8 points, though, I think he does deserve all those titles.
Yeah, absolutely. Sheev is a man after my own heart. He just enjoys what he does, and that is being evil.
Yeah.
And can't really fault him for that.
And this obstacle deployment, speaking of evil, I think that's how you would describe this. That is very, very clustered in the middle of the board. This being the final game, though, even the obstacle deployment is very methodical. These players will have been the 9th round that they've played. This is the big one. They're both in it to win. Want that bye for nationals, so every little thing counts.
While you were cozy in bed, Matt, I was still here at 2:30 in the morning watching this game, making sure that I was present in case there was any judge calls, and it was a blast, let me tell you.
Yeah, well, would have been there, but I had to work at 7 in the morning. That would not have been good.
So, yep, it's very standard deployment so far from Alan in terms of a denied flank with the shuttle, gives himself a wide open way of the board in order to fly around. I really like that corner case deployment. So a lot of people with shuttles either fly parallel to the board edge, one or the other, whether it be the long board edge, I guess they're the same length because they're it's a 3x3, it's a square. There is no long edge, but yes, the edge closer to the deployment zone or the far leaning edge, parallel to one of those. Here we have a little nice mix in the middle, 45-degree angle. Let's go.
Yeah, and this will, unless Nick had decided to deploy completely opposite the shuttle, he's going to have to navigate that kind of cluster in the middle of the board to get to the shuttle.
Yeah.
If he decides to do that, he may just end up going after the heavy hitters of Alan's list here, try to get those aces out and down as quickly as possible, and largely ignore the shuttle. But,
well, it looks like Nick is going to try to fake out with Manaroo in terms of, hey, where are you going to go with your fighters? You're going to go that way? I'm going to go the opposite way with Manaroo because Manaroo does not want to be anywhere near the main fight. No. She is the synergy machine, just like Palp is the synergy machine. And here we have Dengar, the best, coolest bounty hunter. That's right, I said it, Boba Fett. Coolest bounty hunter.
Well, he is pilot skill 9, so...
Yeah.
But, yeah, Nick really doesn't want to let Carnor get close to his ships. As we've been seeing throughout the regionals games, Dengaroo really, really wants those focus tokens to work. And Carnor basically looks at it and says, that's cute. You're not doing that today.
Manaroo, get away from Jax. He is not your friend. He is not there to make friends. Yeah.
No, and with the but with the droid that Manaroo has, Alan does have to be a little careful shooting at Manaroo there with R5P8. So once per round after defending, roll an attack dice. On a hit, well, Karnor takes a point of damage, and on a crit, both players take a point of damage. So Karnor will die far before Manaroo does with that kind of feedback.
Yeah, you still got to get a bit lucky, but yeah, that completely negates the heavy defense of high defense dice, action economy, and of course Emperor Palpatine saying, "Hey, don't worry about it. I got your back." But when it comes to Manaroo, a lot more durable, has those little toys that will allow her to be survivable. And when it comes to synergy versus synergy, Manaroo can go and kill Palpatine long before Palpatine would be able to kill Manaroo, because Manaroo is just a lot more agile. They have roughly the same amount of durability, except obviously Manaroo has the leverage of defense dice, and then has all of these other toys that she can play with. The other thing is, with this particular list, as you mentioned, Manaroo has Gonk. So if she gets a little bit of heat, she can get away and start recovering those shields. It's a little interesting because there's no experimental interface on there. So you have to decide, okay, do I really want to Gonk? And if so, does that mean that I'm not giving my precious actions to Dengar? But at the same time, if you're getting focused and you really want to Gonk, chances are Dengar is running around unmolested anyway.
Yeah, and it gives you a decent alternative if Karnor happens to be, riding your butt.
So Dengar
he is burning forward. He is going after the aces, and this is. I don't expect Alan to make the same mistake I did the first time I played against Dengaroo. I chased after Manaroo, which is a bad idea. But
well, if there's one squadron that can do it, Palp Aces definitely can. They have that action economy in order to leverage the barrel rolls and the boosts. However, yes, if you're flying with anything other than something that can do that kind of heavy speed, maximum throttle, you're going to have a hard time catching up with her.
Absolutely.
Of course, it's very easy here for Nick to decide what he's going to do with Dengar, because the way that Alan had deployed opposite him, for the most part, he just wants to burn forward and then leverage his barrel roll after the fact. Just because if Alan's going to joust with him, Nick is going to welcome it.
Oh, absolutely. And we saw the shuttle did his zero maneuver last turn, did not use the electronic baffle. There's really no point to that, especially this early. Does a little one bank, gets rid of the stress. Manaroo is very lightly moseying forward there. Let's see, she doesn't want to get too close to the board edge and the shuttle just yet. But this is definitely a kind of a knife edge walk. You don't want to get too close to the shuttle, but at the same time, you don't want to go too slow that the interceptors end up catching you.
Yeah, you definitely want to play defensive, but not too defensive. You got to leverage your strengths, and it looks like Nick is doing that here, where Alan is leveraging his. He's zooming in, getting those nice actions.
Putting that asteroid between himself and Dengar. And we have, the Inquisitor is perhaps, it looks like he's gone to run interference against Dengar and say, hey, you know what? Let's fight, you and I.
Well, it makes perfect sense to me, because for the most part, the Inquisitor, and this is the funny thing, the Inquisitor tends to be a little bit more durable with the extra shield. Now, he doesn't have the stealth device that Karnor has, but when it comes to range 2, range 3 shots, you still have the auto thrusters. Now, we're not going to get that because he's obviously zooming in.
Yeah.
But the other thing to take note is that 1-point crewman that is absolutely terrifying, Zuckuss, makes short work of stealth device. So you want to keep those stealth device. You want to hold on to it. Inquisitor is a great front man for that. He's not going to give up the stealth device by getting shot at or getting an unlucky dice roll. Yeah. So it's a very smart play by Alan, saying, "Hey, I'm going to come and I pretend I might joust. I might not. I might just fly by you."
And I honestly would not be surprised if Nick goes in for a plasma torpedo shot at this point. He is in range 2. This is one of the best times to use it. It's not really a whole lot of sense trying to save it for the shuttle. And you know what? Just try to pile in the attack dice through onto the Inquisitor.
Yeah. The other thing is to keep in mind, and this makes perfect sense for what Alan's doing. Now, I don't know if he's going to want to spend it this early, but Alan has proton rockets on the Inquisitor, making him a very, very dangerous enemy to muster against.
Definitely. And it is a kind of a dance that Nick is going to want to do here. He really doesn't want to get into range 1 of the Inquisitor, where he can let loose those proton rockets. We've seen what they can do. Seen them quite easily swat TIE fighters completely out of the sky. And it looks like he may have drifted into range 1 there. But we'll see.
Of course, Dengar has the opening salvo, being the highest pilot skill on the board.
Mm-hmm. There's our lone wolf trigger.
Fairly an impressive 3 attack dice in.
And we have two uses of Zuckuss so far, and that is a Palpatine spending a focus, and the Inquisitor just saying, "Oh, that was cute. Let's try. How about we try that again?"
Yeah, or not. I don't. Alan's really thinking here, from the looks of it, whether he wants to actually fire at Dengar or not. Does he really want to give Nick a second shot? And for 3 attack dice, I don't know if that's really worth it.
Yeah.
Now, if he is within range 1, as we see that he is, he does get that beautiful
5 attack dice proton rocket.
5 attack dice, but he's already spent a focus token on top of that.
Yep.
So
he has spent his focus, and we saw Palpatine being used there. So it's definitely a hard question.
yeah, if Nick had not rolled incredibly well, maybe you could fire at him. But given that you've already burnt through some of your tokens, I would probably lean on safety rather than bloodthirstiness, and that's weird coming from me, but
And you know you are at range 1, so
Yeah.
that's yeah. And it looks like Alan does, again, discretion. It's definitely a trait that has gotten him this far. He's played against Dengaroo before, as we've seen. You know when to shoot, and in this case, when not to.
yeah. And the thing is, what's really telling more than anything else is the fact that, again, 9 games in, 2:30 in the morning, 12 plus hours later, and he still has the focus and the dedication and the patience in order to see his actions through.
Yeah, and here we are, Nick checking range, see if he's in target lock, and it looks like he's falling just short. So Manaroo will decide to barrel roll, try to get herself a little further up the board, and begin harassing the Emperor here.
It's a very open area for Manaroo right now in order to deal with that, so you really don't need to put a lot of pressure on her.
Not so much, no. So the barrel roll pushing the limit for, what's very likely going to be Dengar's focus. Though it may end up not being, just given Karnor's position, if Dengar ends up too close to him. And Karnor has elected to end his chase of Manaroo quite wisely.
I think it might have been a fake out.
That's very possible, or at least just trying to get the asteroid between himself and Dengar.
The thing is that, especially with the Dengaroo list, Dengaroo players will want to protect Manaroo at all costs. They might lose focus of the fact that Dengar is their heavy hitter, and they still need to play smartly with him. And if Alan can leverage that Karnor Jack's ability, like you just mentioned, that is going to go far and beyond what the rest of his squadron can do and deal with when it comes to just how powerful Dengar is on the offensive.
Absolutely. And we saw there the Inquisitor, he just pulled a hard turn over, trying to, just stay away from Dengar, or possibly block his ideal landing spots, which looks like that's kind of what he's trying to do there. And that was an attempted white Signer loop. Very well chosen by Alan there. Nice foresight, and that is one of the downsides of having that asymmetric dial. You really do want to turn left, and it can end up it can render your ship a little predictable.
Especially when you have all of that stress. Now, if that stress wasn't there, then you wouldn't have to worry nearly as much.
Oh, not at all.
But that's the price you pay for, 1-point upgrades that are awesome.
And there we are. So Dengar is very definitely not getting that focus this turn. And Karnor is in, well, quite frankly, a phenomenal spot to attack him here. The Inquisitor can't get shot by Dengar. He is touching him. If he shoots at Karnor, that's... Yeah, it's 4 attack dice versus Karnor, but he's getting his auto thruster. And Karnor should survive, and he can shoot Dengar without repercussion.
Yeah, and that's the big thing there. As soon as Dengar loses a shot, it's basically going from 2 ships to 1, even though it is only 1 ship.
Mm-hmm. And there's giving the focus. I'm not 100% sure why. Perhaps Nick forgot what Karnor can do.
Again,
it's been a long day.
Very long day.
And so we have Dengar firing first, firing at Karnor there. Lone Wolf trigger. And there is the attempted focus spend, and Alan says, well, sorry, that's not going to work.
Do not pass go, do not collect your focus tokens.
Yeah, and just a beautiful defense dice roll from the stealth device, and Nick is Zuckussing all 4 of those results. And looks like not even having to spend a token, Karnor says, I don't take any damage.
All you had to do was get at least 1 blank and 1 focus, 1 evade token, and then you're good.
And there is focus spent, and Palpatine used 2 blanks, trying to lone wolf one of them, and there is 1 fell swoop, Dengar shields blown away. And that right there is the strength of Karnor, saying, oh, you can't use focus.
Very good roll, because he does not have that action economy, he doesn't have the target lock.
No. And Manaroo taking her pot shot into the shuttle. 2 focus results rolled, unfortunately. Yes, and there, bet Nick was wishing he had his focus token on Manaroo to use. But new turn, shuttle, nice lazy bank up. Continuing to put the pressure on Dengar here. Really wants to kill him as quickly as possible. If the Emperor takes some damage doing it, well, hey, at least he gets his hands dirty.
And here is a nice turn from Manaroo.
Yeah, she still kind of wants to keep her distance from the Aces. Definitely wants to chase the shuttle, but not chase it too much.
Yeah, because once these fighters are done with Dengaroo, they could easily come after Manaroo.
Oh, yeah.
Dengaroo, Manaroo. It's all...
Yeah, once Dengar's down, Manaroo's... She is going to be in trouble, but she does have her own defensive ability, which these very light fighters, it does discourage them a little bit. And especially with her having feedback array as well. They have to be careful.
Definitely not want to get within range 1.
No, not so much, no. But Dengar, as we saw last turn, just getting his shields completely blasted away by that fantastic hit from Karnor.
Now, Nick just here said that he was thinking about a target lock, and Alan said that actually measured for him, but that was not where he was decided to do.
Mm-hmm.
Alan did not call me over on this, and it seemed like both of them could agree on the outcome, so just decided to focus instead.
Yeah.
And we have some more maneuvers.
Yeah, the Inquisitor continuing that just silly 1 hard turn green maneuver. Gets himself pulled around a little bit. He may get shots this turn, depending where Dengar decides to go. He may not, but he will very likely get shots next turn. And Karnor is... Since he can't really keep chasing Dengar right now, does a 3 forward green maneuver, gets rid of his stress, gets himself a little clear of Dengar here. Doesn't want to be too close to him.
Yeah, we don't know exactly where Dengar is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
The Inquisitor, even though he's not might not get shots this turn, is still in a really good spot to ensure that Dengar can't get turned around that way.
Oh, he's in an annoying spot, and will continue to be, just by virtue of the fact that he was positioned on the left side of Dengar,
Yeah.
and that asymmetric maneuver dial really making its presence known. If Dengar were to try to turn right, that's a fairly difficult maneuver for the ship, actually.
And I was actually expecting that to be a K turn. It is not on Carnor Jax. That is just him blasting forward,
Yeah.
getting actioned up so that if shots do go his way, he doesn't have to worry.
On that big drawback to Zuckussing so much is you lock yourself into the only way of getting Dengar turned around is that signal loop.
Oh, yes.
And you can only do that one to the left if you're stressed. So he blasts it forward, a 3-bank, get himself a little clear of that fighter scrum, but that does put him square in the sights of the Inquisitor and the shuttle.
Yeah, and again, we said it here before, that Space Cow, if you get in its attack range, it can do a decent amount of damage.
It's still a 3 attack dice ship. It does have a target lock on Dengar. And there is Lone Wolf, unfortunately, still going into a blank, and Dengar is firing into the shuttle, trying to get some damage through, soften him up for Manaroo. And Zuckussing the successful evade roll into a focus, it looks like. And Palpatine will take a point of damage there. It's just a shield, not that big a deal. It takes a couple, sorry. And here is the Inquisitor firing back. Spends his focus. 3 attacks. 3 potential hits. And Nick has used Dengar's countermeasures this turn. He can spend that focus, so it looks like one of those attack dice will go through. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Good result from an Inquisitor attack.
Let's see if Manaroo can come into the fray.
Long range shots here. 2 attack dice versus, amusingly enough, 2 defense dice. And Manaroo just not being able to hit, well, anything really.
I feel like this turn on Nick's part is a little bit of a missed opportunity to use some of those munitions that he has access to.
He does only have the plasma torpedoes on Dengar. Mm-hmm. We have been throughout this event. We have seen Manaroo with a fair amount of ordnance on her, and there is the shuttle using its target lock for an attack, and Dengar spending his focus, or spending it or losing it at the end of turn. No damage taken from the Emperor's attack, but still, that shuttle's in kind of an annoying spot.
Yeah, no kidding.
And we see our. This should be a fairly intense planning turn. Actually, Dengar he's in a dangerous position here.
He decides to stress himself out and just staying put, taking a point of damage from his electronic baffle, and hopefully to baffle his opponent. If he plays this right, Dengar is going to slam right into the front of him, and if he plays it differently, not to what he's expecting Nick to do, then he's probably going to get shots. Mm-hmm. Both are good places to be.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed with the electronic baffle on the shuttle. It's like an inertial dampener, except, well, you just take damage and you still get your action.
Yeah, on a ship that is tanky enough to make use of that, it's amazing.
And I've always personally shied away from stuff like the Vader crewman, anything that will damage my own ship, just because my opponent does that enough for me. But in the right position, it can you can definitely get far more value out of it than its points value. And I'm impressed by it in this event.
And the one bank that the Inquisitor has, also a green maneuver.
That maneuver dial, if only the actual TIE Advanced had kept its prototype maneuver dial.
Yeah.
I think that ship would see a lot more play at that point. But here we are, so the Inquisitor again just doesn't have to worry about staying too close to Dengar. because, well, he's always at range 1 for his attacks. It'd be nice if he could use those advanced proton torpedo, or those proton rockets, sorry, and just nail Dengar in one monster attack.
Oh, if he can get some proton rockets off, that's good night, Dengar.
Absolutely. And we've got Karnor pulling a hard over to get rid of his stress. Should see, yeah, unsurprisingly, see a boost. Get himself pointed in a good direction, back closer to the fight.
Get all 6 of those blasters pointed in the right direction.
And we have pushing for a focus, and let's see where the bounty hunter ends up. And that is another 3 bank. He will be able to land that, so no proton rockets this round, unfortunately. But that is not quite out of the arc of the shuttle. And there is nowhere to barrel roll that Dengar is going to be out, so that is going to be... Well, Karnor may be out of range, but that should be at least 2 ships firing at Dengar again.
And again, with the beautiful ability of the Inquisitor, shots from the Inquisitor are going to be considered range 1.
Mm-hmm. And, well, that's a range 1 shuttle. That's 4 attack dice.
2 ships at range 1. Why not?
Exactly. So let's see. We've got Dengar firing. He's gonna try to pound into that shuttle before he goes down. Spends his focus for 4 hits. 4 potential hits. The shuttle rolling its 1 defense dice. That is a focus. Now let's see if Alan decides to spend it or if he's just going to let it ride and take all of that damage. Looks like he lets it go. He wants to keep that focus for the attack. Thankfully enough, there weren't any crits there, but that shuttle that had a pretty big hole blown in it.
The other thing to keep in mind is that because this is a match game, you don't have to worry about MLV. It's, I'm going to kill you or you're going to kill me.
Exactly.
One way or the other.
Exactly.
Don't have to worry about giving up half points from your plunky Lambda class space cow.
Yeah, all it's got to do is, well, keep the Emperor in the game basically, but also keep its guns in play. And here, so we've got the Inquisitor opening fire. Spend a focus. Unless that was Karnor. That's 3 defense dice, so that may have been Karnor.
Well, Inquisitor would shoot 3 attack dice as well.
Well, yeah, Nick rolling 3 defense dice. So that looks like that was Karnor firing first. This is the Inquisitor now. 2 potential. Oh, and spend a target lock. 3 potential hits there. Using Palpatine. Lone Wolf going off. And Dengar spending his focus for the evade. Using the Overclocked to keep it. And that is a damage sensor.
Which, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't amount to anything on
Not a
Dengar.
Dengar's just there, sitting in his seat going, Zuckuss, shut up!
I have 35 stress tokens. I don't care if I can't use actions that are listed on my action bar.
Yeah. I don't know, I just kind of imagine that's why the pilot gets so stressed out is Zuckuss is backseat driving. He's like, no, shoot there.
You'll have to do this. You have to fire this way.
Yes.
I know how to fire the goddamn guns. Leave me alone, Zuckuss. But you have to.
Yeah, and there is Manaroo taking her shots, and the shuttle, just beautiful. 4 hits, blasting into the side of Dengar here, and even with 2 defense dice, Dengar literally cannot survive that attack. He had 2 health left, and that is Dengar gone.
The firepower was overwhelming.
2 crits. Insult to injury. The Emperor just rubbing salt in the wound. And that, there's Dengar down. Not a good feeling.
And it looks like Nick says, you know what, I'm going to cut my losses. There's no way I can come back from that.
No.
And
Not with Dengar down, the Aces completely unmolested. That it's early now. It's the gentlemanly thing to do. Nick concedes the win to Alan, and Alan takes 9 rounds later. He is all the way from Toronto, the Atlantic Canadian Regionals Championship.
a wonderful, wonderful human being. I couldn't be happier to have someone of his caliber not only come down to Atlantic, Canada, well, in New Brunswick in this particular case, but come all the way down from Toronto, and the entire time I don't know, 16 hours, 24 hours. I can't remember how long the actual event was. I just know it was too long for one day, and the whole time he was a humble, very calm, very cool, very collected kind of guy, and he could just, focus, and was all about being just a really nice guy and being professional.
Yeah. And, we definitely want to give a big shout out to everybody who traveled out of town, out of province to come down and make this event what it was, and be willing to be on camera and featured on the show. You guys let us keep doing what we do, so big thanks to all of you.
Now, that's it for Atlanta Canada Regionals 2016. We have some Wave 9 games coming up. I know a lot of you are sick and tired of the meta that once was, so I'm very interested to see what your thoughts are going to be for the new meta. Please leave comments in the comment section below, or if you're on Reddit, blast it away, and we're going to read through them, see what you think, and we're going to bring up some ideas of our own. I'm looking forward to playing the ARC 170. It's my favorite element from the prequels, and I just have a big softie for old Clone Wars stuff.
Yeah, we're a little stymied right now on the TIE Special Forces, so if you guys have any ideas, we would really love to see those.
Yeah, because I'm an Imperial player at heart, and I'm ambivalent with this fighter. Well, it's not really Imperial, it's Resistance, so of course I'm ambivalent, but yeah, please let us know what you want to see flown for Wave 9, and we're going to try putting some games together.
Yeah, and, as always, guys, thanks for watching Wookies on X-Wing. Should have liked and subscribed. We've got videos out every Wednesday.
We are part of the Northern Gaming Network. Be sure to check it out at northerngamingnetwork.com, where we have additional content for this game and others.
And as always, you can leave your comments in the comment section down below. We read them all. We like to respond to them. We do like to get your guys' feedback. And John can let you know how you can get in touch with us directly.
Well, if you're ever interested to see how much joy I get from killing my D&D players, you can always follow me at Corhath. But if you want to find out more information about Northern Gaming Network, you got at NorthGameNet, and you can also like us on Facebook to keep up with our most recent news.
And we'll see you guys later.